Hello everyone. Now I'm going to start a new series on Angular. The latest version of Angular is 7. That's why I'm beginning with Angular 7. So let's start. As an introduction, if I give introduction to Angular, so AngularJS is a modern JavaScript framework which is used to build a highly interactive single page application. So single page application which we are going to discuss later on, but as a technology wise, Google has been developed this Angular platform, and this platform is basically for the front end development. So there are top 10 applications and website developed with AngularJS are very famous, you in some part of YouTube also, Netflix, JetBlue, PayPal. So there are lots of website modern application are based on your Angular. As a career opportunity wise, as you can see, the graph is growing up, and your the salary and job market is also growing up in AngularJS. So now if you are learning AngularJS, so now on modern scenario, AngularJS is must. Why I am saying AngularJS is must? So now industry is required multiple skills. Like if you knowing only backend, and if you knowing only front end, you will be getting a less salary and the job opportunities are less. But the combination of AngularJS plus of any backend technology like ASP.NET, or you have Java skills, Python skills, will be making your as a full stack developer. So full stack developer, if you want to be as a full stack developer, means already you have a platform like Java and .NET, then you can must learn Angular, then you will become a full stack developer. So now next, if you see, we have mean stack. So what is mean stack? So mean stack is the thing. So people who are from JavaScript background, so JavaScript background, they are only working with front end technologies. Now I through JavaScript, I would like to work on backend also. So mean stack is the way to JavaScript developer to be a mean stack developer and work on the server side also. So in my means, as a mean stack developer, you can work on Nodejs which is a server side JavaScript, and AngularJS is the front end side of JavaScript. So now you can work end-to-end application with the help of mean stack. Now you can become a mean stack developer. You also have a very big opportunities. So salaries are also high. That's the small statistics of packages of salary of United States of America of the mean stack developers. The features of Angular. So now I can start with a very modern. If you want to build a mobile application, so now in Angular 1 or prior to that version, if you want to build a mobile application, you should go to a third party vendor. But after Angular, we have a framework like Ionic, so you can build a mobile application and you can deploy on multiple platform with the help of Angular and Ionic. So if you compare with the versions, so now AngularJS, if you say AngularJS, it's Angular 1 and Angular 2 plus. So Angular 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 6, now 7. So why 3 is missing? Because it was in beta version and there were no major changes. That's why they directly released 4 version. So from Angular 1 to 2, it's a huge change. It's a dynamic change. But from Angular 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, there are a few enhancements. So yeah, nothing to worry if you are somebody saying are you Angular 7 developer or Angular 2 developer. There are no major changes. So Angular combines a TypeScript. So now it's a major advantage of Angular. Now it's giving you a flavor of object-oriented programming languages. So ECMAScript 6. So AngularJS, which is using a TypeScript as a business language, which is based on ECMAScript 6. So JavaScript, which is based on ES5, and your TypeScript is based on your ES6. So people who are coming from the background of object-oriented platform like Java, C++, C Sharp, whenever they reaching and coming to the platform like JavaScript, again they are feeling where are the concepts like object inheritance, polymorphism. So that's why Google and Microsoft tied the hand, because TypeScript is the language of Microsoft and the Angular is the platform of Google. So that's why they build a platform together with Angular 2. Now it's a version 7. So motivation behind Angular 2, performance because it's a single page architecture, which I am going to discuss in next slide. It's adapting the changing web because all the modern browser is supporting Angular 7. It's a mobile friendly platform. So I already told you we have an Ionic platform. We can build a mobile application end to end with the help of Ionic. Ease of use because it's providing a component and module based architecture, which we are going to discuss later on also. So now if I say what is modular, so modular means you can create your application in modules. You can create your application in modules. Suppose you have created a login module, you can export your module and someone can import it, that module. Speed and performance is good because it's a single page application. So what is single page application? It means you have only single page and all the data is getting rendered in the components. So that is called a single page. So now if you are passing the data, we are communicating the data with through server, we are getting a JSON and we are rendering the data in the components. We are not loading the data again and again in a page of HTML. So now same feature, we have a ES6 version of TypeScript. So ES6 and TypeScript making Angular as a very big platform, a very good platform to writing object oriented concept. It supports mobile and tablet. So single page application, let's compare with a traditional life cycle of application. So now we have a client and we have a server. So now whenever you want to communicate between client and server, take an example of login page. Now if you are submitting a login page, you are getting the response as a success.html. So again we need to load a whole page. In the case of single page application, the data is we are communicating via JSON and AJAX call, asynchronous JavaScript call. So data we are making a call and we are getting a JSON. So in the particular area, if we are suppose we have clicked on some icon and we have want to render the data, we need not to change the whole page. We want to change that particular area. So as a architecture wise, Angular have a division like module and component based architecture. So we have modules. So module is a basically a block and a code, a structure of code. Example, we have whenever we creating any TypeScript file itself, it is a module. We have a template and component. So whenever I am saying component, it is basically HTML only. So it is a portion of area of a HTML only. So whenever I am creating a component, I am getting 4 files. In one file is HTML, second file is CSS, third file is spec.ts, and fourth file is .ts. So template is a HTML file and .css will giving the styling of the template, and component is a combination of all those things. Okay, we have a service which is basically communicating to the server and providing data to the component. So what is component? So component is combination of template, TypeScript file which is a business logic, and metadata which is the Angular part, which we are going to discuss later on whenever we are going to learn components. So basically component is the portion of user interface only, which is a combination of with the 4 files. So now let's talk about the Angular setups. So now if you want to do an Angular setup, we required a 4 thing. First one is npm, node package manager. So node package manager, why we required node package manager? So the responsibility of a node package manager to resolving the dependencies. Suppose you want to build an application for Twitter or Facebook or some other vendor wise application. Example, if you want to make an application for some big bazaar and you want to develop one application which scanning the product and it's getting the barcode. So we require third party library. So who's providing that third party library to us? npm is the npm is the library which is resolving those dependencies. Next thing, we require Git, because whenever we are deploying our code we require Git. And third and very important thing is editor. So you can build your application with the help of any of IDE, like WebStorm, you can use Atom, but most famous IDE is Visual Studio Code. So let's first download all those these things in your application. So let's go to open Google. And first download nodejs.org. So go to nodejs.org and download a latest version of a Node.js, which will be giving you npm. So you need to save and install. So I have already installed, so it's not required, but you guys can install. And if you want to check my Node.js is installed, my npm is installed or not, you can go to your command prompt. In my case it's terminal because I am using a MacBook, and here you can type npm. So now if I get a help of npm, it means my npm is working fine, it's installed. But if it's not saying it's command not found, and it means you need to install it again. Second important thing is your Visual Studio Code. So you should download your Visual Studio Code. So you should download Visual Studio Code according to your OS version. In my version it's showing Mac, and you have a Windows, so you can download a Windows version. After downloading the things, you can directly search Visual Studio Code and you will be getting the Visual Studio environment. So here you need to open your project and you start your work on that. Okay, now second thing we have done. Next important thing is we required a command line interface. So what is command line interface? In Angular, if you want to do anything, if you want to create your project, if you want to deploy your project, if you want to create a component, if you want to create a service, everything is possible through command line interfaces, because no GUI provided by Angular, which making your work easy like your other platform like Visual Studio. So you directly cannot create a project with user interfaces. So command line interface which making you help to create a project, deploy your project, build your project, everything is possible through command line interface. So first dependency of all is command line interface. So first we need to install command line interface. So the command is for npm, which is used to resolving the dependencies. Copy this command, copy it, and go to your command line interfaces and create a directory. Angular tutorial. Okay, go to inside of this folder, Angular tutorial. Now I am in the root folder. I have to create a project. So I have to say, so before creating a create that project, I should install the Angular CLI. So let me copy this CLI and paste it here and start installing this node npm Angular CLI. So I have already installed, that's why it's not running. So you can check your if you want to check my Angular CLI is installed or not, you can directly type a command ng. So after typing the command ng, if it is giving you help, then everything is okay, it installed, Angular CLI is installed. If it is not installed, then it will be saying you command not found. Okay, now it's giving me help. Now clear it again. Now everything is done. I have downloaded npm, I have downloaded Visual Studio Code, I have installed Angular CLI. Now let's create your first project. So the command is for that ng, which is Angular CLI command. G is for not required. G, new is for creating a new project, and project name, my first app. So now it will be creating one project for you in that folder, but it asking some questions from to you for the setting the environment. First question: would you like to add Angular routing? So what do you mean by routing? Routing is you basically used for navigation, means come from one page to one another page. So routing is a whenever I am saying yes, then it will create one file, particular file for routing. Earlier, from before Angular 6, I need to create this file manually, but after Angular 6 CLI, it giving you feature to create this Angular CLI routing file through command line. Now second question, it will ask CSS, CSS, SAS, LAST, which kind of styling you want. So this is the all are the type of styling. So CSS and LAST are the superset of CSS. So you can choose according to your requirement. So now if I say yes, then it will be start creating a project in that particular folder. So now it's taking few seconds. After few seconds, you will be getting that your project is ready. So now if you want to see the Angular CLI help, what is CLI? You can directly go to website Angular CLI, Angular CLI. Now go to Angular CLI. Now see, so this is the help you are getting. So first you want to install, so npm install -g, -g is for globally. So npm install g means globally. So whenever you installing in any of the root directory, example C directory, if I use g, then this npm is accessible from everywhere. Next I have created the project ng new and my dream app. This is the project name. Okay, so I have done with this second step also. Now let's go back. If I have done, now it's still working. Next let's learn also ng generate for generating a component. Ng serve is basically used for serve. So every web application is running on some web server. So like Tomcat, Apache and IAS, we have one inbuilt server which is called as light server. So Angular supports a inbuilt server that is called light server. So whenever we running ng serve, it will run a web server and deploy your application in local hosted server. Yeah, now we are done. Now let's go inside of the change directory, my app, first app. Now do ng serve. Ng s means ng serve. Now it will start your web server and showing your content to web application. Let's wait for a few seconds. Yes, compiling. Now you can go to browser again, and here localhost. So every web application is running on some port. So by default Angular is running on 4200 port. Now it's a by default Angular page is visible to you. So now we have learned what is Angular, what are the features of Angular, what are the career plans and growth in Angular. So now till we have done a basic introduction of Angular. Next tutorial we are going to learn how to open the project and how do what are the code structure of Angular. Thanks for watching our video, and next video I am going to do next tutorial of the code structure. Thanks for watching.